hear me?
Yeah.
All right.
Is there a place you'd like the video on the stream?
Let me switch over there. Whatever's wherever you want to put it, far right, or do you want to create your own overlay? But that's fine.
I don't have like an overlay I like to use. I will turn off this since we aren't going to be doing a song, and turn off that to keep the rest of it minimal.
I may mute your stream.
Yep.
I'm hearing everything in double. Now I can just talk to you, and we'll be in good shape. Great. This is this is terrific. Well, first, let me just tell you, congratulations on your massive, massive charity fundraising effort today, dude. I'm blown away. I think your whole audience is blown away. Everybody watching your stream is blown away. I think you have hit this one out of the park, a full home run on your charity effort, and I think it's and Hex team, the whole team of HexCasters doing this and streamers doing this have really exceeded everyone's expectations. I think. I mean, it's again, sometimes gamers get kind of stuck with that perception of that persona of a bunch of maybe perhaps lazy guys sitting on their couches doing nothing with their lives. But when you come across an effort like your effort today, it just really dispels those false preconceptions about gamers and shows what a real community this is. So it's just super impressive. So tell us a little bit about what it was about the Children's Miracle Hospital Network that made you want to get involved with their charity efforts. Okay. Well, let me ask you about your microphone. In chat, they're saying they can only hear me talking. So maybe did you mute yourself on accident? Because I hear you fine.
Let me mute myself on Skype here. That'll probably work better.
Oh, but now I can't hear you.
Now it's on the stream.
Okay.
It's going to be double if I
Can you hear
don't
me?
mute one. It's going to be double if I don't mute one of them.
Well, that's weird because the no, I can mute the stream myself. You don't need to worry
Okay.
about me. Make it where they can hear you, I can hear you on Skype, they can hear you on the stream. I won't hear it double because I muted myself. I
Okay.
muted your stream.
Sounds good.
It's
Yep.
fine.
Both are
Yeah.
going.
So I wanted to come on a few minutes early to make sure we could work out the
Yep.
sound checks and the videos.
That's why I suicided into the booby trap.
No,
So
it's
we.
fine. That's a fun game. I hope we can cast something that exciting. So I think
Yeah.
we're in great shape now. I think your audience is saying that they can hear us both. So we are good to go. And so go ahead and say again what you were saying about why you chose this charitable effort with the Children's Miracle Network.
I chose it for two things. One, it's something I can do. It's streaming. It's staying up for 25 hours. Not easy, but not too hard. Something I can do. And then, growing up, my neighbors fostered kids with mental and physical disabilities, and they got a lot of
Mm.
help from both government funding for doing it, along with a lot of medical help from Children's Miracle Networks. And so, anything I could do to give back to that helped them grow up healthy.
And then I saw that looked like on the forums that perhaps Shaggy or a couple other folks wanted to jump on your effort with what you were doing. And how did the whole Hex team approach come about for this charitable streams?
Yeah, I hadn't even thought of bringing other people in, but Shaggy approached me on my stream one day. I was like, "Hey, let me know what it's about. We'll see if we can get the word out. I'll talk to the other Hex TCG Pro guys, see if we can get anybody else on board." And so with his forum post, it just kind of exploded a bit. There's four
Now,
officially on the team.
And I know Shaggy, I was helped him. I came in as a guest on his stream like this too.
Hmm.
He raised over $600 when he just wanted to raise five.
Hmm.
Who are the other two people on the team, and how are they? Have they already done their streams and I just missed it, or what's going on with the rest of the team?
They already did their streams. They weren't as successful. You Dare
Okay.
You Take raised $20,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it was Hacky raised two. So,
Okay.
but they did
Well,
their
I
stuff.
didn't even know they were doing it, or I would have put some efforts to help them as well.
Yeah,
So sorry that I missed it. But the good news is, I believe the fundraising goes all the way till December 31st.
it does. Yep.
And now that I know about those guys, I can do some things with my YouTube channel, HexCasters, maybe to plug them their efforts, and maybe we could still get them a few donations
Yeah, help
before
it any
this whole
way we
thing's
can.
over. Yeah, get the whole team effort up.
Hmm.
So, no, but the YouTube channel that I do is called HexCasters. I don't know if you've had a chance to see it or not, but every day
No.
at HexCasters, we upload a new shoutcasted video of a great, exciting Hex TCG card game. We have, I think, really the best players playing the best decks, the most exciting finishes, and it's been a lot of fun to get those videos up. And so, what we were doing about a week ago, I was talking to some of the streamers that I follow and watch, and I realized that it kind of, in a way, it felt like, so for some people at least, that hit a little bit of a lull in the alpha. Okay, yes, we
Hmm.
found all these bugs. Yes, there's tons of bug reports now. It's almost hard to find a bug report at this point that isn't already on the forums. So now you're just kind of playing for the. I mean, it's fun to play. The sake of playing Hex is fun to play, but so for me to get some more good material to shoutcast, and to give the streamers something to shout about, we started a streamers tournament. It started
Hmm.
last week, and it's the Hex Alpha Tournament of Streamers. And I'll throw some links up here in a minute, if you don't mind, about some of our efforts with the tournament. I'd invited you to play, but I know, again,
Yeah.
being hardcore competitive isn't for everybody. It's been fun to do it anyway, though, and I know that you're a big supporter of what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And then so we had a 12, really popular streamers who have been come forward to participate. Pool A, we broke them into two pools, A and B. Pool A was was kind of this first week of effort, and the next week Pool B will play. And it's been an exciting, we're 3 rounds of the match under our belts already, and it's really been exciting. A couple of things that I know have kind of emerged, some storylines, if you will. I think one of the biggest storylines so far is how dominant one particular streamer has been in the tournament, and that is who you were just playing, Infamous Neo.
Hmm.
I don't know if you knew Neo before today, or I don't know if you're friends with him or not, but he has played 7 streamer tournament games, and he's won all 6 of them. I mean, won 6 of the 7. I mean, that's
Wow.
pretty impressive. Yeah, let me see if I can throw some results into the top 4 of this pool A are going to move on to the single elimination tournament, and let's see if I can put some results up. You can see how he's got a nice lead. And Dormy is kind of in second right now,
Hmm.
with Crone. And then we have a nice group of guys, 4 of them: Errant Squire, Armies of Mordor, Cyrus. Those guys are going to be those 3 guys are going to come down to the wire as to which of only one of those 3 are probably going to make the top 4 single elimination. The
Mm.
prizes are pretty cool. I mean, the Pool A winner is going to get a free draft when the game goes live, and so will the Pool B winner. But then when the two Pool A and Pool B winners play each other, the champion of the whole tournament is going to get to play on the Hex TCG website, on their Twitch stream, a live streamed game, or maybe even a match against Corey Jones, the president of Cryptozoic. So I think that's a pretty cool tournament prize they're playing for. Besides the free drafts, getting to play Corey, I think will get a lot of eyeballs and a lot of exposure for the game. And I think a lot of people want to see Corey playing in the alpha.
I think it'll be awesome. I'll definitely tune up for
Yeah, it'd be fun to see what kind of secret deck tech Corey brings out
it.
for us. Maybe he'll have some cards we don't have access to, or a deck idea none of us have even thought of before. I
He's
don't know.
crafty.
He is crafty, so it'd be fun. I hope it all works out. We've been having fun so far. Today's action was, again, we saw Neo continuing kind of his domination. He went, I think, 2-0. He's played a different deck every time. Today he was playing a Blood Diamond deck. He was playing against a mono Ruby deck and just had no trouble with it. Endormi, I think, also played a mono Ruby deck, and he won a 2-1 match over Aaron Squire, who was playing mono Wild, and that's been his third match in a row. He's played mono Wild. But one thing about Aaron Squire, and do you know Aaron Squire? Are you part of TCG Pro, Hex
I'm
TCG Pro?
I'm not part of TCG Pro, but I've
Okay.
worked with a few of them a little bit.
Yeah. Well, one thing about Errant Squire, because Hex is an alpha, my YouTube channel is an alpha. This tournament in itself is an alpha in a way. We're
Hmm.
not doing sideboarding, but so he won the first game of all three of his matches. Yet he is only won one of those three matches. Whereas I feel like if he had a sideboard, Errant Squire would be undefeated right now, like Neo. So I think he's been hurt the most by not having sideboarding. We may add it before the single elimination rounds.
For the
It's
single
just
elimination, it can make some sense. It just takes more verification and time to make sure people aren't cheating decks. Not that we
yeah.
say they would, but you need to be sure.
Yeah, you're right. And what's nice is they could Skype me a list of their 15 cards they want in their sideboard. And because it's a streamer tournament, I can literally watch as tournament director to see them sideboarding in and out those cards to make sure there weren't any shenanigans.
Hmm.
It just take a little bit more effort on our part, but for the single elimination, I think we may try something like that. Do you like that idea?
I think it'd be awesome. I think it'll make it a lot more competitive, a lot more serious for the finals.
Well, one thing that's fun about this Hex Alpha tournament of streamers is it's really kind of our very first look at what any kind of tournament meta could be for Hex. I mean, we're
Hmm.
we're far away from having a full build of cards. We're far away from having everything in the game. Even the hero powers aren't stable yet. We have a lot of improvements, a lot more to go. But what we've seen so far is the emergence of Blood Diamond as a combination that seems to be really popular as a way to win. It seems like
It,
it's a really strong deck.
it's
What do you
running
think about
rampant.
Blood Diamond? Have you played any Blood Diamond decks yourself? Have you messed around with it?
I've tried a couple. The one I find to work best is basically a straight life gain, where you also use your life as a resource. You can
That's
combo
right.
really well to get ridiculous amounts of life while keeping the board easily clear to give you the time to get your life siphons out.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a really great combination. If you don't pull the extinction though pretty early, the really fast mono ruby decks and the really fast mono wild decks can beat you. I mean, you can just get rushed to death if you don't pull your extinction or if you don't pull some because even your life gain takes some time getting going. I mean, you've got to get to
Hmm.
a 4 or 5 drop troop that gives you some life gain. You've got to get your escalation cards rolling that give you life gain. It's not super fast, but
Well, that,
it's an impressive deck.
one of the things I like about Hex so far is there is no turn one or two wins. There's nothing that clearly puts you ahead in those first couple turns. Almost every deck needs a few turns to really get going. Some of the super aggro decks can definitely have a strong position, but being able to counter them isn't impossible.
I think you're exactly right, and it's fun. It's going to make for more interesting gameplay. You're going to have to
Hmm.
make really important and correct strategic decisions as you battle in Hex. It's very hard to find a deck that plays well where it's a no-brainer deck. You just
Hmm.
dump your hand and hope for the best. But one thing that's interesting about our tournament, a little controversial maybe, but Corey confirmed that Gas Troll is bugged because right
Yep.
now, yep, you can play Gas Troll, drop a Ruby Shard, and your Gas Troll gets pumped permanently by that. That's not supposed to be happening. So we
Hmm.
banned Gas Troll, and because of that, we haven't seen any of the tournament games. We haven't had any kind of the Ruby Wild Rush kind of weenie decks I was expecting to see. I think really depended on Gas Troll, and so we haven't seen any of that. But
I think they aren't
I don't
necessarily
know.
dependent on Gastrol. I think it's just a very strong card, and since it's banned,
Yes,
it would be strong even without the ruby shards. And so the fact that it's so strong that it has to be banned just makes it fall flat.
it does. Now, do you want to do a shoutcasted game today on your stream?
Yeah, I'd love to. That's what I've been
Well,
hoping
that
for.
sounds great. Yeah. Now, are you going to upload a highlight of the shoutcasted game? Because I'd love to put it over on my YouTube channel to show everybody your stream and your site and promote what you're doing. Or I could go ahead and try to switch on my XSplit and try to do a screen capture to record it myself. Or do you do highlights on your Twitch?
Yeah, I do highlights. It's been a couple days because I've been super busy, but I'll have
Yeah.
time tomorrow for sure
Yeah,
after I
no
get some
rush.
sleep.
There's no rush to get it up. At some point in the future, I'd like to put a copy of our time together talking
Yeah,
up on the up on my YouTube so we can promote. Because again, like I said, you have until December 31st to continue to contribute to your charitable cause, right?
Though I'm already blown away the way we are.
Yeah. But anything else we could do for the kids would be well
Oh,
worth it,
it would
though.
be amazing.
Well, have you chosen a victim? I mean, an opponent for your game today on that I'm going to cast?
Yes, Mithonia here is waiting patiently for us.
So, what kind of deck is Mythonian playing? So I know you're going to run. Well, no, let's just do this the right way. I'm just casting it. Tell me about your deck you're running today. What do you like about it?
My deck is actually going to be a Diamond Sapphire, primarily Sapphire mill deck. It just splashes Diamond for a little bit of early control to manage decks that main troops. Any rush deck, any aggro deck, even a lot of wild decks. Even if they get fist out, I've got some good things that can deal with it, which tend to be a little bit of the strongest decks. And it's able to get to the late game really well to get the mill going.
Okay, that sounds great. And do we know anything about what Mythonian's going to be running?
No, he hasn't responded, and I didn't ask him.
Okay, that's fine. Then if you want to, if you're ready, you ready to play?
Yeah, he just said it's a wild diamond aggro deck.
Oh, that should be fun.
Yeah, this will be a
That
fun
is a
deck.
nice matchup. But again, everybody's playing Diamond. I mean, it has suddenly become the hot shard of choice in the Hex TCG. There's so many great things it does. I would say about 4 or 5 days ago, Blood was the popular shard. Everybody wanted to run something with blood in it because of extinction, because of murder, because of life siphon. But since then, it's really become Diamond's become every girl's best friend in this game.
I think what
So,
happened to make that appear is the fact that Diamond itself doesn't have any internal synergy, so everybody just discounted it. And then they
mm-hmm,
noticed the minor synergies it has with other shards.
mm-hmm.
And dual shard is what is super strong in Hex so far. And I think once they notice the inner combos you can make, that's when
Sure.
Diamond really shone.
All right. Well, are you ready?
Yep, I'm all ready. Send
Then
out a
what I'll
challenge here
do
to him.
is, well, don't do it yet.
Okay.
I will, yeah, don't go yet. I will, if you don't mind muting, I'll do my normal intro because this is going to be a recorded video that we'll put up on the YouTube channel and let people see it and push what you're doing. I'll say a little word about your Extra Life Marathon, so that's on the video as well. And
Sounds
then
good.
when I start talking about I'll talk about your deck a little bit, and then I'll real quickly mention Mythonian's deck. When you hear me mention Mythonian's deck, that's when to challenge him, and so I can see it on the screen and cast it from there.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you after your game. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
And welcome, everyone. I'm Soldack from HexCasters on our YouTube channel. It's great to have you with us today. We are actually in the stream of Hands of Evil, but you can't call him Hands of Evil today. He has got to be called Hands of Good because he is doing a 25-hour streaming marathon, the Extra Life Marathon, raising money as part of the Children's Hospital Network. And it has been a mind-blowing day of fundraising here in Hands of Good stream. He had hoped when he first started this effort to maybe raise $100. He has now gone over $1,000 in his fundraising effort for the Children's Hospital. What a miraculous day it's been. And I'm just excited and honored that I had the privilege to come into his stream today and give him just a few minutes of my time to help promote his effort. Now, one of the good things about this Extra Life Marathon fundraising is you actually have till December 31st to continue to fundraise. I'm going to put the link up here in the video where you can go even when you watch this video later, and you can still contribute to the great things they're doing as part of the Extra Life Marathon. We actually have a whole team of 4 Hex streamers who have all been doing the 25-hour marathon. I'll put all the links up here. You can go to any of their Extra Life Marathon sites and continue to contribute, and you really should, because this is a great cause, and it really shows you what gamers are capable of, and it really shows you what a strong Hex community we already have. So today I'm going to come in here and I'm streaming a game between Hands of Good and Mythonia, and I tell you the deck I know that Hands of Good is playing is some kind of Diamond Sapphire Mill deck. You guys who know me, watch my videos, have ever see me talk in streams. I love mill decks. It has a special place in my heart. But Mithonia is bringing something kind of new to the table today. Mithonia's deck is going to be running a wild diamond aggro deck, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he's really kind of doing with that. It's not a combination that we've seen much in any of the Alpha Stream tournaments yet, and it's not really a combination that I've put a lot of thought into myself. But, you know, these guys are getting their match fired up now, and we'll be shortly joining the action to see what is a mill deck going to do against a wild diamond aggravation deck. If you at all enjoy a good challenge, this is going to be a challenge for a mill deck. I mean, easily Mithonia's deck, if it gets out to a fast start, may run right over Hands of Good. So we got to see what he's going to do today. As we're waiting, they're going to get this game started for us. I know that the diamond shard itself has become quite popular amongst folks. It's got a lot of synergies that are hidden, kind of subtle synergies. And we're going to the coin flip, and let's join the action. It looks like we have Nin the Shadow. Nin is just going to help with the milling. You know, that's a champion that when you activate his charge power, I think it's 2 more cards get milled off of the top of your opponent's deck. And right away we see that Hands of Good he's got a really nice shard base already. He's got a sapphire, he's got a diamond. Now he's going to obviously want to get to a second sapphire pretty quickly to get out those sabotages. Now sabotage is maybe really my favorite card in the Hex TCG. What Sabotage does is that it puts 4 booby traps in your opponent's deck. The 4 booby traps, when they pop up, it's 5 damage, and that's bad enough. But if you drew it, if you're needing to top deck something to help your hand or help your board position, and you draw a booby trap, oh, what a double whammy that is. That's got to be painful when that happens. But so right off the bat, let's see, we've got Hands of Good has gotten a Chaos Madness, a Chronic Madness, and means he's already started milling. It's an escalation mechanic. And this is obviously a good draw for Mithonia. He's already got his ramp into play. He has a first turn Howling Brave, or perhaps second turn Howling Brave. It's hard to see where the action is, but he is going to be able to already be tapping for 3 resources on his next turn. Plus, if he drops a resource, he could have a 4th resource already. And look at the great escalation effect. I mean, Hands of Good has got to love the fact that he's gotten 2 Chronic Madnesses off already. I mean, the escalation mechanic is really unique to digital only TCG like Hex. It'd be really difficult to ever do the escalation mechanic in a paper TCG. But what you can do in a digital environment is you can cause these cards to double the effect of all the other copies of the same card, and it gets shuffled back. So right now he still has 4 Chronic Madnesses that I think are going to be able to mill for 12 each if they're drawn. So I'm really thinking he's in a strong position, but this is what a wild aggro deck does. Here, Scout. I mean, it's going to let him. I think it's got life drain on it. I didn't notice, but it's going to come out, and he's going to have a couple of threats on the board now. There's now a couple of wild troops that. When you play a slower mill deck, kind of a control deck, you want to control the board. But looking at his hand, he doesn't have a lot of control. He needs really to draw into a 3rd resource, and he hasn't done it yet. He really needs a second sapphire, to be honest, to get those booby traps into his deck. So we've got a situation where if you were sitting where Hands of Good is sitting, you would really be like, oh, I want that sapphire. Where's that sapphire? And the Ancestors Chosen is it's not really what I think he wants to put into play right now, because the Ancestors Chosen is shuffling in an extra card into his deck, but it's a card that's not a Sapphire Shard. So while it's good, he's going to have to get a troop into play, and while he would love to draw a 2/2 cantrip, which is what he would draw from the Ancestors Chosen, he's going to have to draw into that sapphire, and that's a little bit slower. Even though it's a cantrip, it's a little bit slower to draw to it. So honestly, if you were just sitting back impartially, if you were looking at this board position, you really would think Methonian's off to a better start. Even though he's been hit by the two Chronic Madnesses, he still has 39 cards in his deck. Hands of Good does not have the second Sapphire. He's got 4 resources up top. Methonian's in great shape. He has a very nice balanced curve of wild and diamond. What a great combination. But now I'm not sure why Mithonia attacked with his 1/1 Howling Brave. I mean, usually when you're building wild, you're building on wanting to get a large resource base going to put big beasts out. You want to get the fist out. You want to get out things that are large and in charge, and you usually need resources to do that. So the milling's been really good so far for Hands of Good, but it's going to be look at this great. This is a great card coming into play. It's going to fly, and it has Spell Shield because he already has 2 wild resources. He's using his charge power to make it even bigger. And honestly, right now, looking at the board, and since we have the luxury of seeing Hands of Good's cards, Hands of Goods is on a clock already. He has got less than 4 turns to find some answers. And the answer right now he needs is a Sapphire Shard. If he doesn't get a Sapphire Shard, this is going to be a short game for him. He has less than 3 turns probably now where he has to draw one. And with 5 cards in his hand, Methonian's going to keep dropping probably these troops into play. He's going to get a larger and larger army coming across the board. Here comes another 5 damage. And honestly, I think Hands of Good, and it's getting pumped up too. That's going to, when that resolves, that's going to be 7 damage. He's now down to 11. Is as good as it's been for him to do this marathon today, to raise all this money for charity. You would think you'd have some better karma. You'd think he'd have some better fortune when it came to his card drawing, but he is a Sapphire short, and a little bit of that could be it's a little more difficult to make 2 shard decks right now because there's a card missing that would. Oh, but he got his second Sapphire. He's got a second Sapphire just in time. He could not have waited another turn. He's going risky though by going ahead and sabotaging. That's a risky play on my mind. Unless I can't see his cards very well, unless he can't mesmerize or use. I would have probably tried to neutralize a creature. But, we're going to see what happens on this next turn because it's probably likely this is going to be the last turn of the game. I would expect, having seen the wild growth last turn, I'm expecting Mithonia has something similar to that in his hand. This could be the end. If not, then maybe he could get maybe he could get it stabilized in time, but no, that's going to be the end of the game. And really, he couldn't have done anything about the creatures anyway. That's actually a spell shard gem, not a life game gem in there. And this was a fast, furious game, and it really shows what happens when you get resource screwed in a game. But it was a lot of fun casting it anyway. The spell shield is such a powerful mechanic. If you're not playing blood, how do you wipe the board? How do you wipe the board if you're not playing blood? And you're not with Ruby. You have at least some heat wave options, but if you run Spell Shield against a Sapphire Diamond player, I mean, it's the perfect counter. It's the perfect foil. So it was a lot of fun to see this, to be in the stream for this game today, and I really appreciate you guys letting me come in. And what a great cause, though. He's raised over $1,000. And I think it's going to be an opportunity still for you to get in on the fundraising effort. But you also saw how important it is in that game to make sure you get your mana, your resources down the way you need them. So thanks. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like our videos. Keep coming back. Every weekday we upload a new video showing a HexCast, a Shoutcasted game. And support these streamers. Follow their streams and support their charitable efforts. It really is worth the cause. Oh, Hands of Evil, dude. How did that happen? How did you not get your mana?
My karma has been up and down all day. People can attest. When I first started, the first 6 hours of the stream, my hands were perfect. It has been just falling off all day.
And you get shoutcasted, and that's what happens to you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And then
It's all
I
good.
think I had a hard time seeing the icons because it's kind of a smaller vision when I'm watching through a stream and not actually getting to see the game when I do the videos usually. But it was both of those troops had spell shield, didn't they? You had
Yeah,
no
they
way to
did.
stop them. I
I
mean,
had
you had
nothing I
nothing to
could
do.
do.
Yeah. For a moment, I thought that was the life gain, because there's also that life gain gem, but it wasn't the icon for that. It was the icon for spell shield. I mean, I'm
Hmm.
still in alpha myself as a shoutcaster. I'll get to know all these icons better day after day. But that's one good thing for me by doing a new video like this every day. I'm really getting a lot of practice because I'm in alpha myself, trying to get better.
I understand, man.
So,
Well, I
all right.
appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was, again, I'm just blown away by your fundraising ability. You need to go work for your favorite politician or, your favorite cause. You need
Yeah.
to do that full time because obviously you're great at it.
I
So,
yeah. I mean, everybody who comes to the stream just says that I'm good because I interact with people and it brings a lot of the nice people, giving people. Not that anybody else is bad. I mean, I'm not trying to knock on anybody. All the streamers
yeah.
are wonderful, but we got a
Well,
very good cute crew here.
yeah, I can see that. What what I've noticed about streamers, and you definitely are one of the good ones, is there's two real things. The streamers that talk a lot, whether it's just them kind of self shoutcasting their games in a way, talking about what's going through their minds, um, you know, and then the cast and the streamers that interact a lot with the chat. Like if someone says, "Hey, will you try this in a deck?" or the interaction with the chat room and kind of self shoutcasting your own game
Mm,
is what I think makes for a great streamer. And I think you do both of those things really well, having watched you. So best of luck. I'm going to
thank
be a
you.
follower every time you're streaming. I'm going to jump in and razz you a little bit. And good luck
Yeah,
with
yeah.
your efforts.
You're welcome whenever. And if you're looking for more games to shoutcast, I am always open. Let me know.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I think maybe the next time I shoutcast for you, you will get better resources,
I
or
hope so.
maybe I'm your jinx. Every time I shoutcast one of your matches, you're going to be doing terrible, and eventually you're going to tell me, "Hey, Soldack, I don't want to see you again shoutcasting any of my games."
Yeah, well, no, I'll just send you to my opponent so you can jinx
That's it.
them.
I'll do it from their point of view and talk about how bad the resource base was. So,
Yep.
all right. Well, congratulations on your charity. It really has been a great effort. I'm really proud of what you've done. You should be too.
Thanks.
All
Yeah.
right. Talk to you later.
Good night.